What is up, guys? Welcome to part 2 of this discussion. We dug out a shirt. The color's kind of faded because it's like the new set of Yugioh. You know, it's just kind of some repackaged bullshit. You know, it's a little bit worn down around the edges. You're kind of like, ugh. But if you guys get some likes on this video, give me like 150, 200 on this, we will get part 3 up. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot to talk about. Alright, let's dig on into part 2 of our metagame discussion, featuring Savage Strike. Alright, part 2. We're going to dig on into Neos at this point. You're probably like, Robbie, why are you talking about Neos on a metagame discussion? So, I talked about Trickstars last video, and I was looking at the OCG last couple of weeks, and I had this on the back of my mind. There were a lot of variants that have been... Actually, there's just a lot of decks in general that are trying to splash the Neos engine in it. And I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? And like, why is Trickstar trying to do this? Well, Rainbow Neos is a pretty good card. You have to play a couple of bricks in your deck to kind of get access to it. It's pretty cute. Now, I don't think that the Neos engine is amazing, but I wouldn't be shocked coming forward here in the coming weeks as we're seeing regionals and things develop at this point, that we wouldn't see some potentially interesting decks trying out the Neos engine. You know, the new cards did give a pretty big boost to the current metagame, and I do think that that potential that is looming there's something to be had about it. Now, this is all under speculation at this current point in time. I don't know if this will be a hit or not. This is just something saying, hey, OCG, they were trying the Neos engine in a few decks. Be aware that, much like these videos are trying to educate you in the possible metagame, I do think that you need to be aware that something crazy could be lurking. Watching some crazy stuff go down with Neos might not be something that you want to be on the beating end of, especially at a regional. So, yes, the Neos engine is very real at this current point in time. You just be aware that it is lurking around the corner and that you could be the victim of it. Now, next up on this list is actually the Time Thief archetype. Now, Space Windu and Friends. I love this deck. So, first off, this is the first wave of support. I think the last time I saw a good first wave of support was around Burning Abyss, but we also got way more support this set than we actually ever got in the first BA support. So, we have a card that can interact with the opponent's deck, steal cards from it. It's less resources that your opponent can have. The last real archetype that we had that did this was Spiral, and it was just you could top check the opponent's deck. Now we have an Xyz that can take things. Well, what happens if we put a PK engine in the deck and you're kind of like, oh, we can start to make Rusty kind of speed up some things. Oh, okay, we're getting somewhere at this point in time. This guy also has the ability to banish himself until the end phase with no materials. Okay, so let's put a rank up magic quick launch in the deck. Oh, now I can rank up into Azathoth on my opponent's turn. And at this stage that you've done this, you've adapted this into an inherent metagame deck that can deny your opponent from playing the game on their turn. Now, this is top 32 regional worthy. I don't know if this is top 32 YCS worthy, possibly for Chicago. There's room to be had there, I think. But I do think you should be aware that if you start to see the Time Thieves come up and you watch your opponent warp it out on the end phase with no materials, and you're watching this guy just stare at you, there's probably an Azathoth around the corner. Now, this deck can multiple Azathoth you. Oh, you thought you were going to deal with one? No, you can deal with up to 3 Azathoth with this deck. So, just to be aware that there is a looming terror with that deck. I did call Azathoth being a troublesome card at some point, but nobody fucking believed me. Everyone said I was crazy. Alright, number 3 on our list here is actually basically Guard Dragon control. So for those of you that don't know, the Guard Dragons just kind of moseyed their way out in this set. Alpay, Pisty, you know, all the Link ones. And we got the Rocket tuner as well. Now, we're still missing a couple of things in the TCG to kind of have the full OCG build. And I'm not the the most well-versed in this deck. But I have a very strange feeling somewhere in the back of my mind. A couple of people have been testing a couple of things with Guard Dragons. I was talking to Bar about this a little bit, and we were kind of looking at the OCG. Was looking, is there any way we can get from point A to point B? And we were kind of like, well, you know, we're missing the Dragoonity link. Can't really go down that path. You know, those stray links. But I leave this up as a question to be aware, because the Link 1 dragons, Instant Fusion, Darkfire Dragon, into any of them, there are questions that I have that I don't know if can be answered at the moment. Are Guard Dragons a good deck? I don't know. But this is mainly as a point of note that says, hey, Guard Dragons, they're in existence. They can do stuff. They can do a lot of searching. The quick launch engine, well, quick launch is in fact a good card. Quick launch does special summon a monster, turns it into more stuff. You know, you play the rocket engine. Just saying, for all intents and purposes at this point in time, that there could be some potential there. So, Guard Dragons really, I mean, they're all cheap, but those of you in the innovation corner, I know what you're up to. I know. I expect to see some Guard Dragon list. If Stray decks can top, then certainly as hell this can. Now, next up on this list is Necroz. This didn't come out in Savage Strike, but I can bet your ass, if you were around for that ban list when it dropped, you squeed like a little girl. Triple Necroz of Brionic, ladies and gentlemen. Shrit. Everybody was so excited to see this deck return, but what does that mean? Well, that means we have Unicorn being a pain in the ass again. That continuous monster that negates those fucking extra deck effects. Colossalus that blinks monsters' attacks. Oh, it's a great time to be alive. The OG of ritual decks returns. And we just got this incantation support. We now have, you have the whole armada of Chalice. Like, you can do whatever you want with the deck at this point in time in the TCG. You know, Chalice Slime, get your full abuse going. You can do everything. Like, I think that the fact that this deck now essentially is at 100% power, we're missing a Shrit or two. I mean, we have one Shrit, it's fine. We can make things happen at this point. But, once again, on the back burner, it's kind of like, oh, will Necroz be a top deck? I don't know. I don't think the deck is as good as it is. We might see a top 32 spot for it for the YCS. I'm kind of fucking crazy for saying that, honestly. I don't think that it's that good. I think the deck has a chance to sit at the dinner table with the lower tier decks, but just be aware. Hey, Necroz is back, baby. Fucking full armor. We got Chalice Slime going on here. We got the rest of the crew. We got Zaborg Mega Monarch being bought out every other day. It's a good time. You know, hope you don't like your extra deck. Hashtag just Necroz things. Now, the last deck I want to mention for this video is Valkyrie. And the reason I want to mention Valkyrie is because this deck keeps getting new support every single day. We've seen this deck actually get a couple of stray tops at the beginning of its lifespan. And I'm still kind of dumbfounded that this deck fucking managed to do anything. But now that we've... Soul Charge is banned, okay, cool, nobody really cared. They gave the deck their own exclusive Soul Charge. I guess that should have been the first indicator, right? When an archetype gets their own Soul Charge, you know, something's going to happen. I probably should have guessed that. But you have a card that grants them additional battle phase. Rite of the Valkyries is fucking fantastic, and, you know, they have a Battle Searcher now. Cool, they're growing up in the world, and people seem to like to add new things into the deck, try new crazy things. You know, it's fun. For all intents and purposes. I think out of everything in the set, this is probably the funnest deck that I want to play. Neos is cute, but it's fine. But cheesing your opponent with an extra battle phase, sure, why not? You know, it's the fun things like that that really get the Yu-Gi-Oh player base going. You know, you design cards to be within the intent of that range, you know, sack things. But kind of just be aware that, hey, you know, you could get double cheese battle phased. I've seen stranger things happen in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kind of be aware in the back of your mind that, hey, Valkyries, they're here. So, I'm going to leave this metagame discussion with the thought of, did Robbie actually just say that Valkyries could be good? Ugh. That's a scary one. I know. But just be aware that Neos Engine's doing some weird stuff. Time Thieves are there. I don't know what Guard Dragons are really doing. And Necroz is another question mark archetype. Maybe Valkyries will get a feature match. But, guys, please, leave a comment down below for part 2. If you guys want part 3, like I said, show some love on this video. Give me some likes in the comment section. You know, talk to me. You guys disagree with what I've talked about in this video. I know there are a lot of other decks to talk about, and we will get to those decks. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. And remember, turn on those notifications and subscribe. Alright, guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.